Yesterday, we stopped by enumerating the 4 great endeavors to prevent the arising of unwholesome states, to abandon unwholesome states that have already arisen, to arouse wholesome states that have not yet arisen, to maintain and perfect wholesome states already arisen. Sai Kiang has kindly provided the Chinese text for this. I pasted it in the group chat. Did you all get it? Okay. So you all owe Sai Kiang a cup of coffee. Today we are going to dive deeper into each of these 4 components, 4 great endeavors. The unwholesome states, akusala dhamma, are the defilements, and the thoughts, emotions, and intentions derived from them, whether breaking forth into action or remain confined within. The wholesome states, kusala dhamma, are states of mind untainted by defilements, especially those conducing to deliverance. Each of the 2 kinds of mental states imposes a double task. The unwholesome side requires that the defilements lying dormant be prevented from erupting, and that the active defilements already present be expelled. The wholesome side requires that the undeveloped liberating factors first be brought into being, then persistently develop to the point of full maturity. Now we will examine each of these 4 divisions of right effort, giving special attention to the most fertile field of application, the cultivation of the mind through meditation. So this is just the introductory paragraph to what is coming next, the 4 division of right effort, which is just these 4. Okay, any questions or comments? If not, then who would like to read? How about Sister Aikim? Would you like to read?
To prevent the arising of unarisen, unwholesome states, herein the disciple rouses his will to avoid the arising of evil, unwholesome states that have not yet arisen, and he makes effort, stirs up his energy, exerts his mind, and strives.
Thanks, Sister Aikim. This quote is directly from the sutta itself, and it will be elaborated in the paragraphs below. So let's take a look at which sutta this is from. It's from Anguttara Nikaya 4.13. So it's inside the text, but if you want, I'll paste it in the chat too. Okay. Sister Aikim, would you like to nominate next person to read? Sorry, Sister Aikim, would you like to nominate the next person to read? You are muted.
Okay, Sister Aikim.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Aikim. Okay, the first side of right effort aims at overcoming unwholesome states, states of mind tainted by defilements. Insofar as they impede concentration, the defilements are usually presented in a 5-fold set called the 5 hindrances, Pancha Nivarana. sensual desire, ill will, dullness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry, and doubt. They receive the name hindrances because they block the path to liberation. They grow up and over the mind, preventing calm and insight. The primary instruments for progress. The first two hindrances, sensual desire and ill will, are the strongest of the set, the most formidable barriers to meditative growth, representing, respectively, the unwholesome roots of greed and aversion. The other three hindrances, less toxic but still obstructive, are offshoots of delusion, usually in association with other defilements.
Thanks, Sakyang. We started off this factor with something we call the 5 hindrances, Pancha Nivarana. What are the 5 hindrances? Firstly, sensual desire, ill will, dullness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry, and doubt in the teachings. They receive the name hindrances because they block the path to liberation. They grow up and offer the mind, preventing calm and insight, the primary instruments for progress. It is said here the first 2 hindrances are usually the strongest of the set. Representing the unwholesome roots of greed, firstly, secondly, aversion. The other 3 hindrances is not as strong, but still obstructive. But it could also be that from person to person, it can be varied as well. Whichever hindrances are strongest to each individual, it could be different. So, as always, Sakyang has kindly prepared the Chinese text again. So for those of you who would like to know the Chinese text, I'll paste it in the Zoom chat, and I'll also paste it in the WhatsApp group chat and Telegram.
Maybe I'll just read it here.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's talking about 5 hindrances in Chinese is the Wu Gai. Sensual desire is Tan Yu Gai. Then ill will is Chen Hui. Sloth and torpor, and actually here says dullness and drowsiness. It is Hun Chen Gen Sui Mian. And here it says restlessness and worry. Sometimes it says remorse is 掉举跟恶作. Sometimes they say 追悔. And the last one, doubt, is 疑, 怀疑的疑. Yeah.
Thanks, Sakyang, for the Chinese lesson, Chinese crash course. So now all of you owe Sakyang a meal. Okay, so that's for the Chinese characters. Now, these 5 hindrances is treated very comprehensively in this essay, compiled and translated by Nyanya Ponika Terra. This one I'll paste it in the chat too, in case you want to read it with the full details. Yeah, this is pretty long. If you see the scroll bar, let me just quickly scroll through to show you how comprehensive this one is. So here, all of this, it's pretty long. Each hindrances is treated from the materials from the sutta itself. You can see the contents here. If you would like to read this, paste this in the chat too, in case you want to tackle the hindrances that obstruct you the most. But very briefly, which one do you think obstruct you the most? For me, I would say sensual desire, which we will explore again much deeper below. What are the examples? So when I do sitting meditation, Then suddenly the thought came, oh, the lunch that I had yesterday is so nice, so flavorful. I want to eat it again. I want to have it again later in the afternoon. Then, oh, no, I should observe the breath. So that's one way I feel like sensual desire obstruct my meditation. The thoughts came and then I entertained the thought, then all my mindfulness just scattered all over. This is just one example, but there are many other sensual pleasures that came to my mind. You know, food, movies, sometimes great moments, sometimes sad moments. Yeah. How about you guys? Which one of the five?
For me, it's a mixture, but the strongest is a beginner. Mine is restlessness for meditation. Yeah, the mind just cannot stop, you know. When I first sit down to meditate, all the thoughts just keep coming and coming and coming, jumping here and there, just didn't stop. So like what you say, it can arise from, you know, sensual desire, it can arise from ill will or doubt and all that. But it's just this restlessness, you know. My mind just 1 second also cannot concentrate on the breath. So, but slowly it improves. So for mine, the beginning part is restlessness.
For restlessness and remorse, I used to feel this a lot, especially in the past. I wasn't that kind of person who was very moral or very straight, you know. I did not. Yeah. And then that has some consequences to my meditation as well. If, let's say, I was very compulsive at lying, and then if I try to meditate, this kind of a remorse will arise in me. It will obstruct my meditation. How? Because in the meditation, the thoughts that I have done something wrong in the past, it will springs up as a regret and shame. And as a result, during my meditation, I would not be able to focus well. Yeah. So this happened to me too in the past. Yeah, when I wasn't exactly what you would call a good teenager or a good yeah.
Let's hear from the rest.
Yeah. Anyone would like to share? Which of the five that you think, I mean, these five factors should affect us in some degrees, but one of these should be the stronger to you. How about Choi Kwan? Would you like to share?
Like I say, the first and the third one sometimes affect me. The sensual desire on watching, playing games, watching the Korean movie. But I used to, after watching the movie, and then I used to think about it and what it should do. But nowadays I don't. I just watch it, and then after that I just leave it, forget about it, and I can manage to concentrate on my meditation. I used to think back, used to have the thoughts, and then when I learned the meditation from Bhante Niyana, says that it's a thought only. So if you have too many thoughts, we meditate on the thought, and the thought will go away. So now I've been able to leave it. Once I watch, I leave it, and that's all. It's just that a certain time I need some relaxation, then I watch, and then I play some game. But I don't indulge in it so much now. Manage to overcome this thing. Yeah, that's my sharing. Thanks.
Bante who? Which Bante?
Bhante Nyaninda.
Nyanin.
Nyaninda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every Friday I attend his class.
Yeah.
It's sort of sharing as well. He gave some talks, just like what Sifu used to do, some talks. And then about 20 to half an hour meditation, guide us through the meditation, and then explain how to, control our thoughts and how to meditate and some other Dharma bites. And then the people will share about what they do, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also don't look like you are affected by Sloth and Torpor because you are the one of the most consistent attendees.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for sharing. Okay, maybe we can hear from one more. How about Esther? Would you like to share?
I think the 5 hindrances that really like obstruct my meditation would be restlessness and worry or remorse. Because I feel that I do have like the other hindrances, but when the other hindrances arise, right, somehow I'm able to manage it. Like I can manage it and then like how should I say, observe it so that it will not snowball into, you know, and gain momentum. But for restlessness and worry, I realize that every time when I'm worried, right, or when I have like thoughts that's related to me being worried about something, I realize that I can't seem to manage it. Yeah, and then I realized that for me, like these thoughts will keep snowballing and it gains energy and momentum. Yeah, so I realized that is the biggest hindrance for me, especially when it comes to worry.
So what kind of stuff usually you worry about? Is it like work or family or?
I think mainly people who are close to me. Yeah.
I see. Okay, thanks for sharing. Okay, that's some sharing from some of us.
Can I say something about the sloth and torpor?
Yes, I can.
Because during meditation, there are times whereby you're just very tired, and then no matter how, I still haven't overcome this hindrance, the countermeasure, you know. For example, like restlessness and all that, like to come back to the breath, ill will, you have loving kindness to counter. So this sloth and torpor, when the tiredness and the, you know, wanting to sleep come, you just fall into sleep, you know. So maybe later on we can learn more how to overcome this sloth and torpor.
Yes, it will be treated in much details below. But very quickly, here I think it does enumerate how to overcome through. Firstly, it's a very briefly, knowing that overeating is the cause of it. That's the first one. Changing the bodily posture. Maybe your posture is not the most optimal. Thinking of the perception of light, or you can just take a look at your lights at your room. Yeah. Staying in the open air, noble friendship, suitable conversation. But I recall that even after trying all of this, if you're still sleepy, the Buddha also recommends that you can lay down but mindfully, yeah, and then make the determination to wake up. Yeah, I'm not kidding. The Buddha give this advice to Venerable Mahamoggallana. Yeah, but we will explore again much deeper in the days to come. Okay, thanks again. So let's see. Okay, maybe we read one more paragraph. Saikia, would you like to nominate one person to read?
Sister Shoming.
Thank you. Sensual desire is interpreted in two ways. Sometimes it is understood in a narrow sense as lust for the 5 strands of sense pleasure, that is, agreeable sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches. Sometimes a broader interpretation is given by which the term becomes inclusive of craving in all its modes, whether for sense pleasures, wealth, power, position, fame, or anything else it can settle upon. The second hindrance, ill will, is a synonym for aversion. It comprises hatred, anger, resentment, repulsion of every shade, whether directed towards other people, towards self, towards objects, or towards situations. The third hindrance, downness and drowsiness, is a compound of two factors linked together by their common feature of mental unwieldiness. One is downness, vina, manifests as mental inertia. The other is drowsiness, midha, seen in mental sinking, heaviness of mind, or excessive inclination to sleep. At the opposite extreme is the fourth hindrance, restlessness and worry. This too is a compound with two members linked by their common feature of disquietude. Restlessness, udacha, is agitation or excitement, which drives the mind from thought to thought with speed and frenzy. Worry, kukucha, is remorse over past mistakes and anxiety about their possible undesired consequences. The fifth hindrance, doubt, signifies a chronic indecisiveness and lack of resolution, not the probing of critical intelligence, an attitude encouraged by the Buddha, but a persistent inability to commit oneself to the course of spiritual training due to the lingering doubts concerning the Buddha, his doctrine, and his path.
Okay, thanks, Shomi. So this is a brief introduction to the five hindrances. It's a long paragraph. So thanks, Shomi, for going through this paragraph. Any comments before we wrap up for today? Tomorrow we will explore again this paragraph and elaborate. Yeah. If not, let's wrap up for today with a dedication of merits. 厌消三障，厌得智慧真明了，不厌追当绩效除，只是当行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a hindrances-free day ahead. Thanks everyone for participating. I'll see you again next time.
Thank you.